Super. I like Sadie. I like Sadie. I like Sadie.
Hot down, Marston! Hot down, Marston! Hot down, Marston!
Super.
The ketchup gets its slice. The ketchup gets its slice. The ketchup gets its slice.
And we're live. Greetings, friends. Welcome back to Marston Mondays, where we free roam with John in Epilogue 2. How is everyone? 7 viewers in the chat. Welcome. J Lash with the thumbs ups. Appreciate you, J Lash. Thank you. Miko Herptile, newly minted mod, says, well, I missed an alliteration there. Newly minted mod, Miko Herptile, says, hello, Superantonio and Sadie. Hello, fellow mods. A rainy good morning from the tropics to everyone. And Miko says hello to J Lash. David is here. Greetings, David. Welcome, friend. Appreciate you. I hope you had a good weekend and a happy Monday. David says J Lash and has a lizard, an alligator emoticon, I think, from Miko. Miko says hello to David and Chrissy. Ghostface224 says, yo, greetings, Ghostface. Happy Monday. On Mondays, we Marston. And Chrissy V74 says, hi to everyone. Greetings, Chrissy. Appreciate you, friend. Glad you're here. Glad you're taking care of our David. He is a valued member, and I can't do it without him. No pressure, David. Miko says hello to Ghost. David has a ghost emoticon and a heart for Chrissy. Isn't that sweet? Ghostface asks, how are you? I am excellent, Ghostface. Very busy, but happy. A little bit hungry. Chrissy says rainy would be nice. We have fires popping up here and there. I'm sorry to hear that, Chrissy. And she has a heart emoticon for David. And Chrissy liked the bison. Yeah, I used to do that. It was an early experiment, I think. Odog is here. Odog says, greetings, folk. Odog, I found an NCAA article on Polygon that I think I'm going to do a little video on. For you, friend, I'm just going to be parroting the information, just going to be reading it. I have no idea what we're saying or any of these players are, but I'll do it for you. And we'll see where it goes. 10 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. David says, there he is. And David says, there she is. Talking about Sadie, who's already moved to under the desk. Miko says, hey, Odog. And Odog says, sup, Davy boy. The members exclusive Micah emoticon. Odog also has alligator emoticons for Miko. David has a moondog emoticon and says, what up, my brother? Miko says, my friend in NYC says it's hot there too. But the rains here are due to 2 typhoons bearing down on us. Well, you just batten down the hatches, Miko. Odog says, first, Chrissy, and howdy. Greetings, friends. For those of you who are channel members, looking at you, Odog and David, I have a video, a new format video on grizzly hunting. It's only 4 minutes long. You can watch it. It will debut at midnight, I believe. Because, well, okay, it started this way. You know, when we were talking about Mr. Big, Mr. Boss, and I realized that he had 1 million subs, which really threw me, because he only had like 300K when I started the channel, and that seemed ridiculous to me as well at the time, and just, you know, it's 4 years later, we make basically the same content, and he's got 1 million subs, and I've got 17K. So, you know, obviously, what am I doing different? One, he is a genius at the algorithm and making clickbaity videos. He has a younger audience. I understand that. He's more entertaining. I know it's my voice. And I watch some Strange Man videos too. And Strange Man will like just run text. He doesn't talk at all. Like Serena. Serena should be watching more Strange Man videos. And I know my voice is pleasant to some and annoying to others, but there's no in between. And it's always been that way. It always has. And but I think my voice held me back. And also, you know, I made content that I wanted to make, you know, content that was, you know, at least to me, a little more literary, a little more highbrow, a little more, you have to pay more attention. And, you know, it attracts a certain crowd, a smarter crowd. And there aren't that many, but there's got to be like 100,000 smart people out there that play video games, that play this video game. I don't know. So anyways, long story short, I watched some Strange Man videos, and, you know, I came to the realization that we've got to do something different on the channel if we're going to grow, because we haven't been growing. This format and this style of, you know, my style, the Super Antonio style, I'm Super Antonio. That took us this far. But if we want to get farther, if we want to break ahead, we need to do something different. So I have a compromise video that will be available for channel members now, but everyone else can watch it starting at midnight, where I still speak, but I run text underneath. And it's a shorter video. It's tighter. And we'll see how it does. We'll see if it generates any kind of traction. And if it does, we're going to make more of it. Also, I'm going to make that NCAA 25 video for you, O-Dog, and for to get more eyeballs on the channel. That'll be interesting. You know, I love doing live streams. It's, you know, it's very enjoyable for me personally. And we're still going to do those. Sinister Sundays, I love. You know, we're going to do alien abductions, Betty and Barney Hill. That'll be Sunday. Movie nights are doing quite well, incredibly well. And Rage 10 is here. Rage 10 says, "Hi, everybody." O-Dog says, "Yeah, you're rigid, LOL. That's stunts growth. Yeah, that's my own fault, O-Dog. I'm stubborn. And I always said I wanted to make videos I want to make. And this is how far it got me." So it was just a shock to see that that Mr. Boss had grown to 1 million subs. But, you know, in the same time period that we grew from 1 to 17K, which is not anything to be, you know, dismissed or sneered at. I appreciate that achievement. I'm very proud of it. But how did he get to 1 million? And I don't even know if I want to get to 1 million. You know, I'd be happy with 50K right now, knock on wood. So we'll see. We're changing things up again to see if we can coax the algorithm back on our side. O-Dog says, "Try GTA." Maybe. I hate GTA. A GTA playthrough? I mean, I got it. I'm horrible at it. You know, driving is nothing like... You know, I'm worse than Serena at driving, I think. But that might be kind of funny to see. I never finished it. I got bored with it. I always wanted to play this game. Odog says you could make a small crew to play and video the missions. It doesn't have to be in the wild. Private sessions. Oh, you want GTA Online. How's Serena, speaking of GTA Online? Is she home yet? I hope so. Anyways, so we have a new video coming up for everyone in the chat, and I would appreciate a like and a view and your thoughts on it. What else? That's about it. I was so busy that I skipped lunch. I had a horrible lunch. Peanut butter and honey sandwich. But that's because I was working on that video. I worked through lunch. David, what's for dinner? David says she has the flu now, still in hospital. That's horrible. I'm sure she got that in the hospital. You just get even more sick when you're there. I hate that. Oh well. There's nothing we can do except keep her in our hearts and thoughts. The good news is I believe we'll get these items back undamaged. John is a discouraged man after all. Odok says had greens and cornbread, rotisserie chicken, and candied yams. That sounds delicious. I'd eat that right now. Yeah, I had a peanut butter and honey sandwich and Fritos. That was about, and basically it was because I didn't have time to go out, and I didn't want to. I wanted to work on this video. I mean, I spent the whole morning doing research, and then I made this video. Even Sadie was confused because, she had her internal clock of when we eat, and I was like, and I went an hour over. But I wasn't even hungry. I was just so busy, and I was just so into working. Writing out all that text and, and getting it timed right so it's timed with my voice is harder than it looks. Also, it's it kind of works. It still goes a little too fast, but I wish it went this slow. See, that's how slow I want it to go, and and you can't do that in iMovie. See, that's perfect. So yeah, we added text and a new logo, a new superantonio logo in the lower right-hand corner. And what else did we do? David says hamburgers. Yeah, I love hamburgers, David. Well done. I love cheeseburgers more, though.
I was hoping you'd be taking this off my hands.
David says, oh yes, the boys know when it's dinner time.
Here, pleasure.
Yeah, she was very confused, and she gave me this plaintive look, and I got to the point where, we could, render the video, and so I was like, okay, let's have lunch. And then, I went to look, and pretty much there was nothing to eat. The cupboard was bare. Plenty of dog food, though. Plenty for her, but, we didn't have that much. And that is worth making a short out of. I gotta remember that. Seamus short. Make a note of that, Morgan. So how is everyone? How's your Monday? I was very busy today. Oh, and I added a quick edit that I'm really proud of in the video, because how they do all these quick edits in these videos where they put in a quote from The Office or something. When When Arthur scopes the bear, I say, that bear is looking a little peaky. And then I put in Pearson going, peaky, peaky, peaky. And then we went back to the video. And it would be cool, I mean, if that works, if everyone likes it, we'll do that more. But I'll just like cut in like parts, dialogue or cutscenes into the video somewhere. Also, we got, I think I did the shark tooth today and the turtle trinket tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting back into the channel. Shorts, I mean, and we'll see what happens. But I'm very pleased with how well the movie nights are doing. This new movie night. So I think we're doing a Saturday movie night for sure. And sometimes Sunday. And I'm leaning towards John Carpenter's The Thing, unless I think of something better. As always, we're just going to like explore all of my favorite movies. I always like climbing up on this windmill. It's one of the first things I did. And we found that cigarette card. And I was very happy that there was something up there, that we were rewarded for our efforts. But I just literally went up there for the view. And, you know, in those days, it just amazed me that I could just, you can ride in any direction, you know, to the edge of the map. But still, it looks infinite from here, and we're at 100%. How'd we do that? And I was just fascinated that, you know, anywhere you look, you can go. And I suppose I'm still fascinated, even though I know I pretty much know the map in every direction, but still. And John feels a little bad looking in the farmer's daughter's window, but he has no nefarious intent. Like Aleister Crowley. He's trying to spot the farmer's daughter.
Well done.
Let's move on. Sometimes we can leave the area and come back and she'll be there, but I believe the windows are dark now. She's gone to sleep. Sleep, perchance, to dream. I think I've only seen the farmer's daughter or the rancher's daughter once.
Been through it, ain't we?
And I don't know if we even have any footage of her. Moving on to the few spotted Appaloosa. I love the light in Blackwater and in New Austin and beyond. Just those clear blue skies and a bright overhead light or overhead sun Makes for great videos.
That's a girl.
I think I'm sure the game devs did that deliberately too. Because the game starts in the snow. It starts at night. It starts in in darkness and chaos, and you get in.
We're getting there, ain't we?
And
Okay, Missy.
the only really bright spot in the game, weather-wise, occurs in Guarma, which is very dark in its own way. And the rest of the time, it's just all raining or storming, or or you're in the swamp. But if you make it to the end of the game, your reward is bright blue skies. As long as you stay down south. And all the horses you want. Horses are abundant. Wild horses are abundant, especially in New Austin.
Hang in there, girl.
Never tried to jump from this side.
You're good, girl.
Doesn't seem like it would work, and doesn't seem worth it because there's absolutely no reason to. But let's make a save and try for science,
Go on, girl.
or maybe we can just move on. What that means is we killed the horse, and I reloaded that save. Because we're never, ever losing a horse again.
Howdy, partner.
Come on, out of the way.
Hey, partner.
Jonathan Lazo says, ha 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 ha, for science. Greetings, Jonathan. Happy Monday. On Mondays, we Marston. And Cloudy says, howdy, y'all. You know something, I don't know if you guys watch Star Trek, The Next Generation, and if you're aware of the holodeck, which is kind of like a 3D version of a video game. There's Sadie. But it's just this room that has like holographic walls, so it looks infinite, and you can like project any kind of environment you want in there. And they're using transporter technology, so you can feel it and touch it and interact with it. And it's like a giant 3D video game. Miko says, hi, Jonathan and Cloudy. David has a Cloudy emoticon for Cloudy. And Chrissy says, hello to Jonathan and Cloudy. But it's interesting because that idea came out, Star Trek The Next Generation and the idea of a holodeck came out in the 80s, okay? And video games were in its infancy at that point. And you hear a lot about how Star Trek, the original series, influenced future engineers in designing things like the cell phone. You know, the first flip phone looked exactly like, you know, the original communicator. And if you watch like Star Trek DS9, they're pretty much all using iPads. iPads did not exist at the time, but you know, they're all like using touch screens. And even like the Enterprise has like just huge panels of touch screens, like they have now. But the holodeck is pretty much this game, all video games now, except we can't go into it. We still have to interact, you know, with a controller, but or a keyboard and a mouse. But in the holodeck, they were essentially walking in place, and the environment would change around them to make it seem as if, you know, they were moving, you know, or running or jumping or whatever. And we're doing the same thing here. We're not moving; the environment is moving. You know, we're always in the same place, and it just like unrolls and unwraps in front of us. But it creates the illusion that we're moving forward. But I believe in this game, we're always in the same place, like the holodeck. Papa One and Mama One are here. Everyone say hello to Papa One and Mama One. Papa One says, hey guys, and Mama One says, hey everyone. Miko says, hello Mama One and Papa One. And David says, there he is. Papa One says, that poor horse. Yeah, we're going to save him. We're in the horse rescue business. Cloudy says you can kind of do that in VChat. Yeah, we're sort of getting there, but you know, again, you gotta wear the goggles.
It's just enough.
And the holodeck was a whole room where it was, you know, the environment was projected around you, so you didn't have to wear goggles. Michael Maltez says, hi, Super Antonio. Greetings, Michael. How are you? Happy Monday, friend. Cloudy says, howdy, Papa One and Mama One. Chrissy also said hello to Papa One and Mama One. Mama One says, hey, David. Hey, Miko. Hey, Chrissy. Greetings, Mama One. What's for dinner? David had hamburgers. I had a peanut butter and honey sandwich. Just because I had nothing in the cupboard was bare. There's plenty for Sadie to eat. Here, let's bring Sadie back up. She's under the desk. Mama One says, is Serena doing better? Regrettably, I do not think she is. She got sick in the hospital, as one does. She caught a bug from someone. Here, Sadie, say hello to Mama One and Papa One and Miko and Maycall and Cloudy and David. Cloudy said, oh, save that horse as well. Yes, we are in the horse saving business. The stable owners will find her a good home. Michael says, how was your day going, Super Antonio? It was going quite well. I was very busy. I had no time for lunch. I had a peanut butter and honey sandwich. It was good, but I like to eat a more substantial lunch than that. I was working on a video. It's going to be up at midnight on the on a stable grizzly bear location.
Mister?
Papa One says, will the arrows get removed from the horse? Yeah, if you keep the horse, those arrows are gone. Jonathan Lazo says, I've got to deep dive on the Star Trek technology influence. It's very interesting. Yeah, they have influenced entire generations of engineers. I'm sure there's been books written on it by, you know, I would say, even though I know a lot about Star Trek, I still think, I feel like I'm a casual Trekkie.
Which show is it?
Mama One says, I'm doing great. Just finished feeding baby full of bottle. That's so cute. Until we can find her a new mama. Yeah, you're the mama right now, Mama One. Michael says, hi, Miko. That's cute. When I got Sadie, she was teething and she was chewing on everything. Literally everything. She chewed on the floor. So I would, I gave her like those Himalayan yak chews. She loved those, and even pieces of ice. And I would, and I got her popsicles. She loved those. She would just crunch those up. But I'm glad she doesn't. She still likes to chew on stuff. She'll chew on me, but it's not like before.
You okay, my darling?
11 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Greetings. How are you? Say hi. Tell me what you had for dinner, because I'm hungry. And there's nothing to eat in the house right now. The cupboard is bare. I've got half a bag of Fritos, but I don't want to eat those. David says, Kodak loves ice, raw chicken feet. Wow, raw. Yeah. Miko asks, Antonio, what console do you play in Red Dead Redemption 2? This is on PS4. We are Team PS4. Cloudy says, all I had was 2 baked potatoes, LOL. Oh, I do love potatoes. Did you have anything on those potatoes, Cloudy? I saw an Instagram video short where they took a baked potato. It was like baked potato nachos. They took a baked potato, okay, and they like sliced it in half and hollowed it out, and then put chili in there and cheese and what else? And like corn chips, and then broiled it so the cheese melted, and then I guess you eat it. Looked really good. Papa one says, LOL, she wants to keep him too. She named him Arthur. That little baby horse. I must say he's going to be a beautiful Arabian. Doesn't matter about the name. Most horses are named at birth, and they will always remember. Wow. Yeah, horses are smart. Well, if Sadie's going to sit up here and actually function as a co-host, I better give her another treat. Another piece of potent canine bait. Cloudy says, no, just a plain baked potato. Cloudy, are you on a diet? Are you trying to lose weight? Because that's too many carbs if you are. Or do you just love baked potatoes? Because I suppose that's possible too. We can sit here on the dock of a bay. Miko says, I still have some assorted salted offal in the cupboard. Perfect for rainy days like today. Yeah, I have a can of chili I could have opened up, but I didn't. Maybe I'll do that later. I forgot. I actually had food. I was so focused on working on the video that, just the idea of switching gears and finding something to eat, I didn't want to do that. Mama one says, we had a feast. We had a wonderful duck roasted in the oven, mashed potatoes, duck gravy made from duck fat, turnip greens, corn, and glazed cake. That sounds ridiculous. Ridiculously good, Mama one. I've only had like Chinese duck, Peking duck, which is kind of glazed and sweet. Cloudy says, no, not really. That's all we had at home. That won't take time to make, LOL. Okay. I can understand that. Mama one says, we had friends over to celebrate a successful horse delivery. It's tradition. We always did it. That's a good tradition. I watched some deliveries on a show on Amazon Prime called Clarkson's Farm. Jeremy Clarkson, he was a presenter for Top Gear, and he has a farm, and so he had sheep one year and pigs the next, and we got to see deliveries on both. Made for great TV, very wholesome, fun TV. Mama once said, I did my easier duck recipe, roasted oven, instead of slow for days. Finally got that horse jump in the end. Well done, Rachel. Rachel would be a good name for a dog. Cloudy says, I watched a donkey documentary recently. That sounds interesting. I have been watching a show called Van Helsing, which is basically the vampire apocalypse. It's like The Walking Dead, but with vampires. And it does, David, follow that same trend. I think it came out in like 2010. That same trend of, everyone, you can't trust anyone. Everyone has their own agenda. People that you think are good are evil. People that you think are evil are good. Super annoying. But I like the show. Well, I like vampires. I like it anyway so far. I made it through season 1. Papa One says, everyone loved it when we did delivery parties, especially when Dad was around. He would invite everyone, and he would make his bathtub gin in huge containers. He would barely remember the party. That sounds fun. Fun times. Yeah, her name is Vanessa Van Helsing, and she is a direct descendant. She has powers. She's kind of like Blade. She's like half vampire. So, but her bite will turn vampires back into humans, and her blood is poisonous to vampires. What's that about? So if a vamp bites her, they turn back into a human. Yeah, it's based on a graphic novel, and it kind of reminds me a lot of Blade. It's like, she's an excellent fighter. She's got it looks like twin Glocks. She's got twin Glocks, and then like an axe that she swings around, and a katana, and throwing knives in her boots. But the vampires, they're sentient. They retain, they can talk and think, like regular vampires. They're not supernatural. It's some kind of virus. They're allergic to sunlight. But that's about it. And so and they can take lots of damage. So David says, Winona Earp. Yes, a lot like Winona Earp. Except Winona Earp was supernatural. And, honestly, as I recall, I liked Winona Earp better. Batzaro says, howdy, folks. Sorry I'm late. I've been setting up a cage for the parakeet I caught today. Wow. There's a lot to unpack in that sentence you just wrote, Batzaro. Papa One says, out of all the horses in the game, I must say I love Rachel. She's such a beautiful thoroughbred, such a fast and brave horse. Sometimes it just makes you marvel at God's creation. Yeah, Papa One. And, John will actually say, I love you, lady, to Rachel. The only horse she'll do it. And he never says, I love you, even to Abigail. Cloudy said, Super Antonio, have you watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter? That's a really good vampire film. I've heard a lot about it. Yes, it's on my list. The last vampire movie I watched was the one with Nicolas Cage. I forget what it was called. And I kind of liked it, except it was Aquafina, and I didn't like Aquafina at all. But Nicolas Cage was really good. But yeah, I'm enjoying Van Helsing. And then they did this thing where it's like, because, you know, she gets betrayed a lot. She can't trust anyone. But there's this one, like, her big nemesis in the first season, I'm going to spoil it for you, she bites and she turns him back human, and he becomes good. And he feels regret for all the badness that he did in the first season and for, like, the first 300 years of his life. So he pledges himself to serve Vanessa Van Helsing. So she's, like, got this big hulking human guy that you know, by her side now. So that's kind of interesting. And it just reminded me, I had already checked out from the Walking Dead, but they did that with Negan, where he started out as a really bad, evil guy that you hated, but they flipped it around and made him a good guy. But I had already checked out of the whole thing before that. Glenn was one of my favorite characters. Glenn and Shane. What's that about? Chrissy says Renfield. Yes, that was what it was called, Renfield. Yeah, I enjoyed it. A little too much swearing. And I don't like Aquafina at all. I don't find her funny. I don't think she's cute or attractive. I think, you know, and her, you know, and she's got a really bad attitude and she's swearing all the time. Batzaro says, I was staying in my crepe myrtles and the hose wouldn't reach it, or wait a second, where are we? Batzaro says, a parakeet showed up eating my chicken's feed about 2 weeks ago. No idea where it came from. Finally caught it about dark in a live trap baited with diced peaches. It was staying in my crepe myrtles and the hose wouldn't reach it, or I would have. Papa One says, how do you catch a parakeet? I'm not good with birds. Lady I used to train horses for had a big macaw. He would calmly follow her around. He hated men, though, and he attacked me and my dad. Nearly took my ear. Batzaro says, if you read the Walking Dead comics, Negan is an awful, awful, awful person. I read, like, I didn't get that far. I got to, like, the farm, I think. You know, Herschel. I might have gotten to the prison. Cannot recall. I didn't like the drawing style of the Walking Dead comics. That's very important to me. The aesthetics, the look of things. Chrissy says, Nicholas Holt. Yes. What a lovely day. David says, she was okay in Ocean's 8. Never saw it. You know, that whole trend of, like, flipping the script with, like, Ghostbusters and Ocean's 8 and, you know, yeah, it's just, I don't think it works. I don't really think there's an audience for it. Batzaro says, he is in a cage now covered with my dog's favorite blanket. Hopefully my son and I have a new friend. I'm sure you do, Batzaro. Papa One says, Negan is an anti-hero. Not always good, not always bad. But I mean, funny thing about man is one man's reason is another man's line. Yeah, I think it helps. I like that actor a lot that plays him. He has a dark charisma about him. So it works. But, you know, I checked out of The Walking Dead. Maybe season 3 or 4. Papa One says, the lady's husband was happy when that darn macaw finally died, LOL. He paid me and Dad and then said, let's go get drunk. He was a buddy of my dad's for years. His wife was wonderful, but loved birds. She was a bird lady. Miko says, that's why I don't mess with the big parrots. A conure is about all I can handle. Yeah, my sister had birds. And apparently, I didn't know this until an auntie told me, but my mom had birds growing up. She never mentioned it. Papa Papa One says she was a bird rescuer and had birds like he had horses. Wow. Chrissy says, we are in season 3. Chrissy, have you seen The Walking Dead? Is this a rewatch? Because I'm surprised you didn't watch it when it came out. Petzaro says, yeah, big pet birds are a no for me too. My aunt had a big macaw, and it was out when I came over and she'd try and bite me. Yeah, big birds are just basically feathered dinosaurs. That's why John hates condors. No one knows why. Chrissy says, no, it's first time. Oh, that's interesting. How did you miss that? It would seem right up your alley. Well, you're in for a treat, I suppose. What do you think of it? I loved the special effects, the makeup. Greg Nicotero.
Oh, this is really nice of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
If you look up his IMDb, he's pretty much been in almost every movie that you love. He's done a lot of zombie movies, worked with Tom Savini and George A. Romero. But Zara says, after I heard why Carl left the show, I couldn't watch anymore. Yeah, sorry, Chrissy, we're spoiling everything for you. I don't know why Carl left Walking Dead. Carl leaving Walking Dead. Are you talking about the actor or the character? Carl. Betzara says he wanted a little time off to go to college, and they basically told him to go to school. Told him go to school, and you're fired. What's he doing now? Carl, Walking Dead actor. Chandler Riggs, I remember that name. He's all grown up now. Well, of course. He did some voiceover. He was he played Superman in Clark Kent in Justice League, an animated film. It's not. Yeah, he's seems basically retired after 2019. Yeah, but that's, those child actors, they usually don't move on to adulthood. Kurt Russell and Michael J. Fox are exceptions rather than the rules. Or they go crazy like Lindsay Lohan or that kid from Terminator 2. Chrissy says, I just looked it up. Miko says, I've only managed to save that guy a handful of times. The majority, he gets kicked and dies. Yeah, I usually don't bother saving him, except I like to see what horses that he'll respawn. He doesn't spawn anything special, but he'll spawn like mid-range horses like Nokotas and thoroughbreds. Mama once says, she always amazed me with her birds, as none ever hurt her, but they would attack everyone. She had a barn turned into a bird sanctuary. One of her macaws would bring her a cigarette pack if she said smoke. Chrissy said, spoilers, he doesn't leave till season 9. I just looked it up. But Zaro says, I quit because the comics Carl became the best character by far. What's happening in season 3? I was still walking. Walking Dead. Is that in the prison? Season 3. Oh, it's the governor. Yeah. I watched this one. The governor. What was I going to say? You should watch Fear the Walking Dead at the same time, concurrently. Chrissy V. Fear the Walking Dead is like a parallel. It's not a sequel. It's almost a prequel. It's the very start of the zombie apocalypse, and it's set in California. David says, we are at the prison. Yeah, the prison works for a little bit. Is Beth, yeah, I'm going to say, is Beth still alive? Beth was one of my favorite characters. She was a cutie. Betzaro says, love the prison. Yeah, the prison loves you. I'm sorry, Betzaro, it does not love you. I don't want to imply anything. You're a fine, upstanding young man, a veteran who served our country with honor and dignity, and a father figure. Papa once says, my dad took his granddaughter to meet Jonathan Taylor Thomas for her 16th birthday. She was in love with him. My dad spent like $150 to get backstage to see him, and she actually told him she was in. I never thought the prison, like I didn't like that chain link fence, you know, as far as fortifications go. And they pretty much had to go out every day and and pike the people that were pushing on, the zombies that were pushing on, the walkers. Nobody says zombies in The Walking Dead. Did you notice that, Chrissy V? They say biters or walkers or deaders. Betzaro says, hey, I've only been to jail once and that wasn't my fault. And if you go into photo mode, you can see this fella in the treehouse. There's somebody in there. And spoiler alert, he's not wearing pants. But sometimes it's more comfortable to not have your pants on. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, what is he doing these days? He's 42. What happened? Why is everyone... Yeah, he is also basically retired, and Wikipedia isn't saying what he's doing. He was in a show called Last Man Standing, but that was from 2015. And yeah, Wikipedia's not saying what he's doing now. But he went to Harvard and Columbia. As I recall, I really enjoyed the opening credits of The Walking Dead. I thought they were very well made. And do you remember Bicycle Girl from she's from like episode 1. I was very impressed with her, even though she's half CGI. Cloudy says, have you seen the guy that's up the tree near the widow? I've heard him, but I don't think he exists like this guy does. I mean, I haven't actually seen him. And Papa One says, I remember Dad saying he was a nice kid and laughed about her being in love. He got a few pictures. My niece was embarrassed. Dad told him that. But he said he was only going to pay once to meet him. Bazzaro says Last Man Standing is a pretty decent show. It's a Tim Allen show. Almost everyone from Home Improvement is in at least one episode. Yeah, I don't, I should watch more comedies, because they just, laughter is good for you and it puts you in a better mood. But I'm always way more attracted to the darker shows, science fiction, horror, of course. I'm watching like a mid-range sci-fi production called Van Helsing from 2010. And John meant to do that. But yeah, David, as I recall, I liked Winona Earp better. Bazzaro says, as am I. Cloudy says, still need to watch The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. I heard it's a really good show. I saw one episode, like the first episode was free on Amazon Prime, so I watched it, and somehow he's in Paris. That's not spoiling anything. It's like, what are you doing in Paris? Or not in Paris, in France. So somehow he made it all the way over there. And then there's another one, another spin-off series where Maggie was in New York, and it was exactly like Escape from New York. Bazzaro says, Raising Hope. Oh, David says Raising Hope is funny, and Bazzaro says Raising Hope is amazing. I've heard that name. I don't know. I mean, Raising Hope cast. Martha Plimpton. Martha Plimpton is related to David Carradine. I mean, I like Friends because my sister liked it, so I watched it. Frasier. David says Goonie Girl. And Mama one says, according to my niece, Grandpa gave him her number, LOL. He never called, but Papa's dad didn't care. If you're the president or homeless, he's going to talk to you all the same. Because he was a true gentleman. What other comedies do I like? My dad loved he loved Jim Carrey and Eddie Murphy and Peter Sellers, the old Inspector Clouseaus. I actually have the Inspector Clouseaus on DVD because I bought them for him. And I took him after he passed. I watched a couple of them during the holidays, just out of sentimentality. David says she was in the Goonies. Yes, she was. So was Thanos. And Samwise Gamgee. And Betzaro says, love those. And Half Pint from Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. He won an Oscar for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Chrissy says, we are Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon fans. I see like clips of Big Bang and Young Sheldon on Instagram all the time, and they're really funny, but that it doesn't really inspire me. Cloudy, I did see A Million Ways to Die in the West. Was the last comedy film I watched. Yeah, I saw that. I remember it being funny. Seth Rogen and Seth Meyers. David says, now that's a good one. But yeah, I can't think of any like real comedies that I watch now that are Parks and Rec. I love that one. I got that on DVD. That was like my Christmas present to myself. Papa One also loves Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon, Chrissy. And Papa One says, Mama One's the same way, Bazzaro. Because Bazzaro said, oddly, I don't like Big Bang, but I love Young Sheldon. And Chrissy says, Bazzaro, a lot of people feel that way. Yeah, well, see, part of it for me personally, Seth MacFarlane. Yes, David. Part of it for me is I don't have network TV. I just watch what's on the internet, and I don't really, I stream off Tubi and Amazon Prime. I used to have a Netflix account, but I don't anymore. Patzaro says Parks and Rec is one of my favorites. Yeah, I had to get it on DVD. I love that show. It's, I love the sincerity of Leslie Knope's love for local government. It's her optimism. It's very infectious. Her relationship with Anne, her and Ron Swanson, of course. All the characters on that show. Papa One says, I get jealous of the dad always having Lone Star beer. I get some now and then, but can't find it in Georgia. Cloudy says, I didn't really like the Ridiculous Six. It was goofy, too goofy, LOL. Yeah, I never saw it, Cloudy. I didn't think I didn't look like a movie I would like. Christy says, George and Mandy's first marriage. And David says, it was dumb, Cloudy, about the Ridiculous Six. At any rate, friends, that's about all I have for you tonight. 10 viewers in the chat. I really appreciate you being here. We shall return on Wednesdays. Probably going to make it a movie night, not a Weirdling Wednesday. Sinister Sundays, however, Papa One and Mama One will be all about alien abductions and the case of Betty and Barney Hill, which I was doing some research on, and that's fascinating to me. So I'm looking forward to that. Movie nights are doing quite well. We have a video premiering at, well, it's not premiering, but it's going live and we're live at midnight tonight. So watch it tomorrow morning. Shout out to the mods, Miko, Mama One, Papa One, David and Chrissy and Odog and Serena. You are missed and loved. Appreciate all of you friends. Thank you, Cloudy. Great talking to you as always, Batzaro. And